This is Reality Dispatch, written by Jim Minns.
There was a sign, a precursor to his arrival, a series of satellites that arrived in the night sky, unannounced. The space enthusiasts picked up on them first and announced them to the community at large. There were observation parties right across the world as the signs could be viewed from any vantage point. These naturally forming phenomena encircled the planet and remained there for days until they vanished, almost as quickly as they arrived. "Someone must know something about them," said my mother. She was a conspiracy theorist at heart and was always referring to a cover-up when in general conversation. We had coffee together on Thursdays. "Oh, come on," I said nonchalantly, mainly to make conversation, but on this occasion, I believed she had a point. It was strange. Then nothing from any official source, no acknowledgement, no reference beyond the general media report. What were they? And why did they come here and fly off as quickly as they arrived? No answers. Nothing. Then he emerged, in the middle of the Belichick War. The battle had raged for 13 months, neighbor against neighbor in the upper European towns. They fought with guerrilla tactics over land rights until the government stepped in to finish off what the civilians had started. He stood out in the middle, dressed in his native outfit, all black with these precision lines all over his muscular exterior, a handsome man, at attention in no man's land. He demanded a ceasefire and the release of the hostages. It would have gone unnoticed, save for the media interest his presence generated. This was because the man survived every weapon that was fired at him. Machine gun fire, rocket launchers, grenades, tank munitions. He stood there in expectation of their worst and stood there after the smoke had withered. Unscratched. "I am a stranger to your lands," he announced in a naturally booming voice that projected itself loud enough for all to hear. "I come in peace, and I expect it," he declared. "If you do not lay down your arms and ceasefire, immediately I will be forced to destroy your weapons and leave your nations vulnerable." Naturally, compliance was not agreed. They continued to fire. Then, to a broadcast of millions, the man from the sky, as we later discovered, having arrived on the back of the meteors that painted the night sky, began to dismantle the arms of those who would do him harm. He confiscated pistols, machine guns, rifles, tanks, IEDs, and mines. Anyone who resisted received a closed fist to the face. He had strength superior to a man's, so his punches inflicted horrific internal injuries. Once 2 or 3 of the fighters received this treatment, all the men engaged submitted. They placed themselves on their knees without being asked to when he was finished. He ground up their metals with his hands, crushing them into dust. Then he addressed those who knelt before him, which turned out to be all of them who were left. "You kneel before me as your king, but I am not your king. I have not come here to rule. I have come to stop you from destroying this place or contributing to the destruction of this place. This is my home now, and you are giving a generation permission to act as you are acting right now. I am putting a stop to it," he yelled. Then he took flight and landed in the nearest capital. He addressed the media, who had gathered to see him in action. He was speaking to them and through their microphones, but he was addressing the world. "I am and always will be a visitor to your shores, but I am a permanent one. I will never leave. So this is my home now too. I demand the end of all hostilities, or you will face a similar fate to those you see on their knees today. I am not a ruler, not a king, not an emperor, but I am your reckoning. Do as I ask, no delay," he said. It was a warning to those in constant conflict. The time of aggression had passed. The days of forced peace were to begin. It was a Thursday. I sat down for coffee with my mother at the home once again. "He was put there by the government so that we can take over their country," Mom said. "I've seen it all before." "I think it's a good thing that he's here," I told her. "I don't think he takes orders from any government. I think he's his own man and he just wants what we all want," I said. "What's that?" "Peace," I said. "No more war. What could be wrong with that?" She took a sip of her hot coffee. "What happens when we get peace? What will he want to put an end to then? Sports? Will he want to end the Super Bowl?" she said with a ludicrous laugh. I sipped my coffee in return. "Of course not," I said. Then I thought about it some more, and I realized I couldn't be sure. We had the TV on silent in her room, and a new alert popped up. She was always glued to the 24-hour news channels, partly fueling her conspiracy theories. "Turn it up," she asked, as she watched the screen. I did as requested, and we listened to the reporter at the news desk. Government sources say the man from the Meteors has requested a one-on-one with President Kelly from the United States and President Xu of China within the next 3 days. They further say that the requested meeting will be a one-time opportunity to rewrite the terms of, quote, global expectations around freedom, end quote, the anchor woman said. "You see, what the hell else does this spaceman want?" Mom said. I stroked my chin. It was too early to tell, but to meddle in international affairs was a troublesome thought, even if it did mean an end to all wars. But what did I know? I was a retired librarian. The fate of the world rested on the shoulders of those who would come after me. I had no kids and no pets. I was mildly curious as to where this spaceman would take us, but that was the extent of it. A mild curiosity. "More coffee, Mom?" I asked her. "How about a tea?" she asked.
For more stories of fact-based fiction, head to jimmins.substack.com.